This is the second battle from, well, it's actually the first battle, but it's the second battle that I'm uploading from the Sith Decade of Darkness tournament, or the Decade of Darkness, as I like to call it. It's between Llewelin of Agartha and Panda Warrior. These guys run into each other a lot in tournaments because they both usually reach at least semifinals or very high up in the tournaments. Llewelin is commanding Carthage, Panda Warrior is commanding Pontus, and the map is on the pyramids. This is a good map for Carthage because they have so many units that have a resistance to the fatiguing effects of heat. That means that the Pontic army of Panda is going to be able to move a lot less than the armies of Llewelin here, because the resistance to heat means that they will fatigue less quickly due to the heat present on this map. Panda Warrior's build consists of 6 Pontic swords, 4 mercenary naked swords. He has 2 Threos, 1 Eastern Archer, scythe chariots, 1 noble blood, 1 Cappadocian cavalry, 1 noble blood and 1 noble blood on the flanks. And you'll see how quickly these mercenary Scythian horse archers are going to fatigue. Here we have the late Libyan hoplites, 4 late Libyan hoplites, 6 Libyan infantry, 6 Iberian swords, general's bodyguard, 4 Carthaginian cavalry, and or maybe just 3 Carthaginian cavalry, and then 2 mercenary Numidian noble cavalry. Using his late Libyan hoplites to just screen away the mercenary Scythian horse here. Panda's wasting a bit of ammunition on the late Libyan hoplites. No point in using arrows on these cheap units with good armor and good shields. Firing on the mercenary Iberian swords would possibly be better here, but Llewelin is screening his main army very effectively. And you can see the mercenary Scythian horse archers, although they haven't been running a lot, they are still active. That can be very dangerous for them, because they rely on their mobility in getting in and out of skirmishing engagements. They can't really take fire with their 10 armor. We have some noble blood and Cappadocians moving up for Panda. Carthage has no long-range skirmishers in this battle, and I think that's why Llewelin is just using his late Libyan hoplites way in front to shield his main army from any long-range skirmishing. But there aren't many long-range skirmishers on the field for Panda either. He only has a unit of Eastern Archers and the mercenary Scythian horse, and that would be enough to deal with an elephant from Carthage. But bringing an elephant as Carthage against Pontus, you don't really need it, because you're going to win against the Pontic infantry anyway. The problem is dealing with the scythe chariots. You will see most people bringing Carthaginian noble cavalry to deal with chariots. 2 Carthaginian cavalry can do a good job of stopping the chariots as well. Might be a better choice. The Cappadocian cavalry is taking some fire from the mercenary Numidian nobles, but very nicely done in using the mercenary Scythians to fire on the mercenary Numidians. They took a lot of damage from that engagement. Threos here as well, so that was a nice bait done by Panda Warrior. His horse units are becoming active, while the mercenary Numidian noble cav is still fresh. Here we have the mercenary Numidian nobles pushing up again, running away because they are always being screened by these mercenary Scythian horse. But the mercenary Scythian horse are winded at the moment, so that's not going to be good for them in the long run. Eastern Archers firing at the late Libyan hoplites. Again, I kind of question wasting ammunition on these units, but maybe just wants to kill them, do some damage so they will die a lot quicker when the melee engagement starts. But the real dangerous units from Carthage are behind here, because the Libyan hoplites are going to stomp all over Pontic swords in melee. The Libyan infantry has 60 health, 55 morale, 75 armor, while the Pontic swords only have 50 health and 50 morale. So while they are decent units, they are definitely not good. The main thing they have going for them is that they are cheap. And here we have javelins from the Iberian swords coming in against the naked swords. So the naked swords has to charge. They are being screened by the mercenary, by the noble blood cavalry very nicely, doing a lot of damage to the hoplites. But here Carthaginian cavalry is going to be able to wreck these naked swords. And the follow-up from the mercenary Iberian sword should be able to destroy a lot of mercenary naked warriors. Running in, getting into the mercenary Iberian swords, they're going to do a lot of damage to mercenary Iberian swords. Libyan infantry charging in against the mercenary naked swords. The mercenary naked swords are not going to be able to get the charge against the Libyan infantry, and that was very important. In the center we have frontal cavalry engagements coming in. Mercenary Iberian swords getting destroyed by noble blood cavalry on the charge. A unit of late Libyan hoplites being charged as well. We have the Carthaginian cavalry running in to try to catch the noble blood cavalry before they can reform. Panda did not pull them away far enough, so they're getting attacked in the rear here, and the follow-up with late Libyan hoplites is going to absolutely destroy the noble blood cavalry. Massive blob happening in the center. Panda warriors pushing in his chariots, but they are actually getting stopped here, and they're taking so much fire that they're just dropping. 2 units of Carthaginian cavalry stopping the side chariots. And the side chariots of Panda, I don't know if he's microing them here. It looks like he's trying to move them, but they are not going to be able to get many kills in this blob. They were sort of stopped by their own units and by the Carthaginian cavalry of Carthage. Really messy engagements all across the map here. The mercenary naked swords are destroying late Libyan hoplites. Libyan infantry should do well against the Rayo spears in melee. They need to be careful of the charges from the mercenary naked swords. Carthaginian cavalry eating massive amounts of javelins from the Pontic swords. They are still able to make it into the eastern archers. And the chariots, the side chariots of Panda warrior did basically nothing in this battle. Chasing after the Numidian nobles here with this mercenary Scythian horse. But it looks like the mercenary Scythian horse is not going to move here. Panda isn't microing them, so the mercenary Numidian cavalry, if they want, they have the charge, but they actually did not follow up with the charge here, and I think that was a mistake. They could have gotten a charge on all these units. Mercenary Numidian nobles destroying noble blood cavalry in melee. Cappadocian cavalry is running around. It's actually fresh. So are the Pontic swords, so that's good for Panda warrior, but losing the chariots without them really doing much was just so devastating. Here Llewelin is going to go for a charge against the mercenary Scythian horse. It looks like they are going to be able to get into the horse archer units and do a lot of damage to them. Noble blood going down in the center, Pontic swords being defeated by Libyan infantry. Over here the naked swords are doing well against the Libyan infantry. The Libyan infantry getting rear charged and destroyed by both naked swords and cavalry. This unit of mercenary Iberian swords should also go down very quickly when it's charged by naked warriors. Sneaky unit of mercenary Numidian noble cavalry coming around the flanks, but it's getting charged by Pontic swords, so that's not a good engagement for them. They have a decent charge bonus, good weapon damage and very high melee attack, but the problem is they don't have the armor or the mass to stand in and trade it out with the Pontic swords. Eastern archers getting good shots off on the mercenary Numidian noble cavalry. Over here Panda lost his mercenary Scythian horse archers. I believe that was to these, mainly to these mercenary Numidian noble cavalry. They're going to rush in and destroy a lot of naked swords on the charge. And now there's not a whole lot of Pontus left on the field. The Pontic swords didn't do great against the Libyans. There is still a lot of cavalry left on the field for Carthage. And there is basically no way that Panda warrior can do this now. The mercenary naked swords are going to get charged by Libyan infantry. The Libyan infantry is probably going to die here very quickly. So the mercenary naked swords are extremely dangerous against infantry. It's just that they're so vulnerable to enemy cavalry. Here you can see it. The mercenary naked swords getting 150 kills and 165 kills against good Carthaginian infantry. But when the mercenary Numidian noble cavalry charges in, they're going to be able to take down a lot of the mercenary naked swords. Eastern archers wavering, Thraeos going down, and now the only things that are left on the field for Panda warrior and Pontus are his swords. So let's have a look at the kills. Very similar in terms of kills, but where Panda Warrior spent funds on his scythe chariots that weren't really able to do much, Llewelin brought better infantry. The Libyan infantry did extremely well in this battle. The chariot was effectively neutralized, and I really don't like the Pontic swords because they just lose horribly to most similarly priced units in the game. The mercenary naked swords are good units because CI has made a pricing error with them. But the thing I don't like about Pontus is that you have to make sure that your scythe chariots get a whole lot of kills, because the infantry is not going to do that for you unless you're able to use the mercenary naked swords in devastating fashion. So well played to both players here. The chariot was effectively neutralized, and when that happens to Pontus, it's basically a GG. So I guess this means that Llewelin advances to the finals in the Decade of Darkness tournament. Strength and honor.